Okay, we're back live. Let's see if this time we are able to reach our guest, Hristina. So, invite.
Hello.
Hello. Yay, it
Hello.
works.
Finally, we can connect. Hello, everyone. Hello, Nataly. Welcome.
Good.
Hello, Nataly. How are you doing today?
Hello, good. Ready for our first talk. Thank you very much for being our first guest. And thank you to our friends that are logging in. We had some technical problems, but we are back.
Hello.
So thank you, in-traders, for joining us. Thank you, Kursat, for uh, tuning in.
Hello, John.
So,
Nice to meet you.
okay.
Hello, Intrader Zork. They must be from Turkey, I suppose.
Yes, there's the International Trade Conference I was telling you about that
Yes,
you
excellent.
can connect with the director. The
Yes.
next International Trade Symposium is going to be next year in May. So thank you very much. So why don't we start?
Yes.
Please introduce yourself, Hristina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hristina Crenn from Macedonia. I'm currently living and studying in Istanbul, Turkey. I am studying a double major of political science and international relations and history at Ibn Khaldun University. And also, I am pursuing a Bachelor of French Law at Sorbonne University. I met Nataly in Istanbul at Koç University, more precisely, during the Law and Democracy Conference in 2019, actually, in April 2019. I am traveling very frequently around the world. I have been living already for 4 years in Istanbul, and basically I could have learn the languages that are spoken in the Middle East, such as Turkish, Arabic, currently learning Hebrew and Persian. And I can say that these are definitely very, very interesting languages that we cannot really learn in Europe, but basically in Turkey we can learn them. So this is a little bit about me, and thank you, Nataly, for the invitation.
Yes, so you're such a world trotter. And also, the reason I invited you to join is because you are a Balkans ambassador for what's the name of the organization you represent, the Balkan
Well,
region?
currently I am doing basically I'm like volunteering for many organizations. I am basically now collaborating with One Health Lessons organization of the US. Basically, we are translating COVID-19 lessons for children and adults. And sending them to basically to schools to the teachers, and the teachers will can teach them, and sometimes we can teach them also on Zoom. I just started with this internship 3 weeks ago, and I would like to greet Deborah Thompson, Dr. Deborah Thompson from One Health Lessons. And I am like collaborating with different organizations. Like I do also another internship with Fatima Al-Fikri University. As a communications officer, and I try to represent the Balkan region as much as possible and attract new interns to come to join Fatima Al-Fikri University. And I send my greetings to Mr. Zubair Kwaya and Fatima Zahra Budra, who are my mentors. Yes, this is basically what I'm doing currently.
Okay, so you are going to talk today about the wonders of the Balkans, this region that many people have not heard about because they think, there's, the countries that were having a very bad situation with the war many years ago. But also now, they have become independent, they have their own economies, and, they're ready for trade, they're ready for business. And so help us discover what are the hidden treasures of the Balkans. So I would like to know a little bit of history about the Balkan as a region. In through the history and how they became independent. You can give us.
Mm, Absolutely. So basically, Macedonia was part of Yugoslavia. Um, and in Yugoslavia, actually, there were 6 countries, 6 republics. In that time, the official language was Serbo-Croatian, and also over time, and basically, Macedonia got independent in 1991 on 8th of September. Region, etc., etc. Nataly, are you with us back? I think Nataly disconnected. Hello,
That. Are you
Merhaba.
able to see me?
Yes.
I'm here. Okay.
I
Yes.
was basically speaking about Yugoslavia and what happened. Yes. Hello, intra dersok merhabalar. Tamam, tamam, olsun. Başvurabilirim sizin konferans için. Yes, I will definitely join your conference. Hello, Marini Chiappi. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
So, Natalie, I basically started to elaborate about the Balkan region history and what really happened in Yugoslavia, and then after that.
Yes. So, what are the countries that after this process now are doing good in terms of economic development, and which countries are still in need, of support, like more promotion, so other countries internationally can see what type of business people can do.
Absolutely. So basically, what is very famous about the Balkan region that we are basically offering law taxes for foreign investors. In Macedonia, mainly, we have seen recently that, especially in the last decade, that countries such as Germany and Austria and some Romania, I think, as well, they are opening factories where people can apply for job opportunities, and basically one of the most famous one is companies. I just forgot the name. I'm googling it. But what's basically Macedonia famous for is about the pharmaceutical industry, actually. Alkaloid. It is a famous company that is producing medicines for the entire world, actually. And basically, Macedonia, what I find interesting is that people can, investors can contact the ministry and even online, and have a meeting and basically discuss the investment opportunities. So it is a little bit a slow process, but definitely investment in the Balkan region is more than ever necessary, especially in this last decade and the years forward, actually.
I was able to visit a little bit around that region. So I visited Montenegro and Sarajevo. So those are other Balkan countries. So, but I noticed a big difference. For example, in Montenegro, I was able to visit two cities, Usink and Kotor. Even though those areas are very touristy, the economical development change between North Macedonia, Montenegro, and Bosnia, well, particularly Sarajevo, it's very wide. It seems that Montenegro has more financial stability and is more developed in infrastructure and also in services for people that's visiting, while Bosnia, Sarajevo still has not recovered from all those years of war, because you still can see some buildings that have the remains of that period. So what can you say?
Basically, what can I say about Montenegro? It is actually the fact that Montenegro, it's a touristic region. Also, the Adriatic coast of Croatia as well, where you have Dubrovnik, Dalmatia, Split, and then in Montenegro, the city that we visited, Budva, Ulcinj, and all others. Definitely, the Adriatic coast. It is very famous for tourism. So basically, there people are not living during all the year. They are just going there to basically build a big residency or hotel with 5 stars and welcome Russian tourists. There are plenty of Russian tourists in Montenegro, for instance, as is the case in Antalya in Turkey. So
I saw that they're like renting for many apartments for people to retire there, but I was looking the other day at the documentary that the hospital medical services in Montenegro are not that good. So unless they're like private, and then there's a price change.
Actually, in the Balkan region, unfortunately, we are a little bit, how can I say, perhaps the governments of the Balkan region are not sufficiently investing in education and healthcare. In some hospitals, they are not, you cannot find actually the modern machines necessary for making an operation, or operation basically, or a chirurgical intervention. So people are basically trying to access private hospitals where it's much more expensive and it is not affordable. So people what they recently are doing, especially during the last 2 years, are making donations online, like a funding process, like on GoFund or Facebook, and people are collecting a sufficient amount of money in order a child to be operated, or basically because only private hospitals in Macedonia and in the majority of the Balkan region have these machines, these digital machines that are basically necessary for having a successful operation. So basically nothing costs below $1,000, which is very expensive for the standard, for the money standard in the Balkan region, which is usually an average person gets like a $200 per month. So that's why people are struggling a lot regarding healthcare. Regarding education, until basically high school, until the end of high school, education is free. But university, it is undergraduate studies. are costing like 200 euros per year or $300. But for instance, masters and PhDs in the Balkan region are much more expensive, and they can cost from $6,000 to $8,000. Are much more expensive than doing, for instance, a master or PhD in France, in Germany, or in Denmark, etc., etc. Recently in Macedonia, there was actually a program for international students to come and study in Macedonian universities, but not many students were applying, and basically the students who were applying were from Africa. And basically these are coming just to study in private universities, such as the American University in Skopje, the University Saint Apostol Paul in Ohrid, etc., etc. So there is mainly where you can find international students in Macedonia. We are struggling about healthcare because perhaps we have excellent doctors. We have excellent doctors, but we have a really bad management about healthcare, definitely.
So what would be like the trade opportunities, for example, in Bosnia to help, improve the economic situation? What are the difference between, for example, North Macedonia, Bosnia? We have not talked about Serbia. Which country among the Balkans is now better in terms of international trade and development?
So, well, I can speak most probably individually about each country. I can start perhaps, I can start with Serbia, as you mentioned. So, as far as I remember, Serbia in 2018 received a fund of the European Union around 15 billions of euros for investment, and basically about investment about the environment, infrastructure. Macedonia, as far as I remember, they were actually concluding free trade agreements with the European Union, EFTA, and CEFTA as well. And basically, the two main projects that were undergoing in that period were, the East-West infrastructure corridor. That is basically connecting the central part of Macedonia with Serbia, Greece, and on the other side with Turkey. Also, they are trying, perhaps what is another investment project, that they were trying to build a railway with from Skopje until Bulgaria. Basically, Serbia actually also it is focusing to invest about renewable energy and basically tourism, etc., etc. And currently, Serbia, regarding the airplane industry, is the strongest airline in the Air Serbia is the strongest airline management in the entire Balkan region. Like I remember that they were offering, like aviolet. Let means in the Slavic Balkan languages a fly, basically a flight. And avio flight, which meant like, charter flights in some parts of the Balkan region or Europe. In Macedonia, the investment opportunities are definitely in the central part, like in Kavadac and Negotina. There is about the wine industry, basically. This is the region famous for grape. My region, Pelagonia, where situated Prilep and Bitola, it's famous about the tobacco industry. So in Prilep and Bitola and the entire Pelagonian region, people are basically, you will see the lands are full with tobacco leaves all around, and basically they're selling it to the tobacco Philip Morris factory in Prilep. And actually Philip Morris bought the Tutunski Kombinat. That was Tutunski Kombinat is the tobacco factory of Prilep that before was named as Tutunski Kombinat, and we still call it like that. But now the new name is like Philip Morris, which is an American tobacco company. Also, Kočani, it is a region famous for rice. So that eastern part of Macedonia, it is famous for basically planting rice, and fruits and vegetables. And there in the Ohrid Lake, where you have heard about Ohrid Lake, that is famous for basically apples, definitely apples. But Macedonia, because it's a relatively small country, they are only exporting the goods in the Balkan region, because that's the capacity that the country can offer. For instance, recently I heard that they were trying to send Macedonian fruits to Moscow, and to make some trade agreement, but all the national harvest process is not enough to feed Moscow for 1 week, because we are relatively a small country, so we cannot, for instance, offer such a big amount of fruits and vegetables for such a big city like that. So basically, Macedonian products are sold locally and around the Balkan region. Yes.
So, for example, around the Balkan region, I think it's only Croatia, the country that now belongs to the European Union. Do you think in the near future any other countries will join the European Union in the whole capacity, or at least in the economic part of the union?
Well,
Which
I
country
think,
do you think will be?
well, I must say that the Balkan region is divided. How can I say? Economically, the relations with the European Union are very strong. But politically, the relations between the Balkan countries and the European Union are relatively difficult, because we are having nearby countries that are basically trying to veto the country during the negotiation process for entering the European Union or joining the European Union. So basically, regarding the historical and political problems, that are problems that are lasting perhaps more than 50 years. Or if we speak about since the independentization process of Macedonia and the Balkan region countries, we can say that definitely that process is relatively new, which is about 30 years. I said 50 years because that process of nationalism is, in my opinion, a little bit older than before. So that are political conflicts that will last forever, unfortunately, in the Balkan region. But economically, the countries are trying to cooperate a lot. And for instance, that there was this project between Russia and Turkey about the gas. So basically, the Balkan region countries are trying to make also these gas pipes to cross also the Balkan region, basically. So there is something great about the Balkan region and Turkey. We have excellent diplomatic relations with Turkey. Basically, all the Turkish products, such as clothes, food, baklava, trileçe, all the sweet products are present everywhere in the Balkan region. Due to the Ottoman heritage, we have a wide Ottoman heritage in the Balkan region that lasted for more than 5 centuries. Yes.
Yes, it's very noticeable. So, which country you think has is one step ahead to be able to join the European Union?
In my opinion, for instance, now Macedonia and Greece have solved the historical questions and political questions with some so recently signed Prespa agreement, but plenty of Macedonians are against this basically treaty, because according to majority of Macedonians, it is an unconstitutional process. But on the other side, now, for instance, there is a historical commission between Macedonia and Bulgaria for solving the historical issues. So that's what I said, like political and historical issues based on nationalism in the Balkan countries are relatively long all over the years. But economically, the Balkan region cooperates with Europe, and in my opinion, the countries such as Bosnia, Montenegro, Macedonia, Kosovo will need a little bit more time to join the European Union. In my opinion, the next country who will join the European Union is definitely Serbia. In my opinion, but I can be wrong as well. And yes, so the problem in the Balkan region is perhaps applying the practicality of the legal world. We have excellent documents, we're trying to adapt according to the European rules. We're trying to adopt treaties, and sign treaties. But in the national consciousness, for instance, if you ask a fellow Macedonian, basically, what's the most important legal document in the country, they will tell you the constitution. And no one in the provinces will know that there is a bilateral treaty between Serbia, Macedonia, or a bilateral treaty between Salvador and Macedonia, etc., etc. Basically, people are not sufficiently informed about the legal events in the country. And that is where I see that the practical side of law, it is not sufficiently accessible for the people in the provinces. There is some disconnection between the administration of the capital and the administration of the provinces. Yes.
What can you say about Romania, Bulgaria? Here in America, Latin America, we don't hear about the name of those countries quite often, and also Albania, that seems to be a little bit forgotten, from the group. So are they doing any projects in terms of trade with the Balkan or with the European Union at the moment, or do they have a regional plan to include everybody, all the countries?
Actually, in the Balkan region, we have basically plenty of NGOs who are working on many issues that are happening in the Balkan region. But majority of the people do not know that even these NGOs exist. And generally, if a new treaty if a new treaty needs to be signed between the Balkan countries, such as Macedonia, Albania, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Kosovo, or Serbia, Bosnia, etc., etc. So, in my opinion, there should be the next really trade opportunity that should be done is definitely improving the infrastructure in the Balkan region. And I speak about quality projects, great quality projects about infrastructure. Unfortunately, plenty of new roads are made, but they're of a low quality. They are, the asphalt is breaking, and basically the grass will start to grow up on the asphalt. So it's like it immediately shows that there is sort of low quality projects. And I will definitely, if I was leading some projects of this type, I will definitely focus on education and healthcare. We have, unfortunately, very poor management regarding this. So I invite investors to invest in Macedonia, especially in healthcare, opening universities, and opening new factories, and teaching the people of the provinces, giving them sufficient information about the institutional aid and help. The institutions are not communicating with the people, and that's a problem, in my opinion.
We have a question from Tekan. I pin it. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes. The foreign policy of the Balkan states seems to be dancing towards Russia, EU, and Turkey. What accounts for these changes? Basically, I can say we have definitely a Russian influence in the Balkan region. And we have also a very strong Turkish influence in the region. And that is something that the European Union is not happy about. The European Union has a more secular policy for, I will say, they are the first value of the European Union is like what means to be an European. And first, in order to be an European, countries must show that they are to some extent secular. While we, I have noticed that generally the investments that are coming from Turkey or Russia in the Balkan region are generally about religious temples, opening a new mosque, a new church, or restoring. Great for the people who are believers. And then from the side of the European Union, we have investment more about infrastructure. So basically, the Balkan region cannot stand without Turkey and cannot stand without Russia. Why from one side without Russia? Because we're part of the Slavic group of people that speak the same language, share the same geographical heritage, and we speak the same language basically. So that's why perhaps, there are some advantages regarding that aspect. But from the side of the European Union asks, for implementation of the education policy, teaching what means to be an European. And yeah, this is what can I say. So it is really true that it's dancing towards Russia, EU, and Turkey, but the Balkan region cannot survive without Russia and Turkey. It is a fact. It's a matter of fact.
Okay,
We have a new question. I'm going to put my phone on a charger because I'm out of battery almost. The question is, what is the role of public opinion and organization within Balkan states in sharpen the economic policies of the states, because it seems that the main actors are the executives who make these policies. Definitely public opinion. In the Balkan region, public opinion doesn't matter. No one hears the voice of the people. No one. Public opinion is, in my opinion, is relatively manifested. But as I said, NGOs are going to, make a survey about a specific group of people, how many people perhaps are agreeing for the next election candidates, etc., etc. So basically, you can hear the public opinion during elections in the Balkan region. After that, no one hears public opinion. It's like non-existent. And that in a democracy, in my opinion, it's a problem. Next question. Are the main actors are the executives who make these policies? Definitely, executives. At least with the case in Macedonia, executives are the one who are making the decisions. And basically, as I said, there is a disconnection between the provinces and the capital. So basically, a person from the provinces has no idea what's happening in the parliament of Macedonia, for instance, or the parliament of Serbia, etc., etc. Because people are simply saying we don't have time to hear empty rhetorics from the politicians. So the people of the provinces consider that the politicians of the executive and the ministries are just there to say empty rhetorics on TV. That's it.
What is now the reaction of the government, either in the Balkans or in Macedonia, to get ready for economic after this pandemic? So they start, working towards economic trade economics for 2021 for next year. So do they have any new projects or plans for trade for the show?
Um, I believe that now the primary goal of the government of Macedonia, current government Macedonia, is to basically their main focus now is joining the European Union. Managing the coronavirus. The coronavirus, I will say, like as a joke, but in terms of coronavirus as a process, they are not sufficiently ready nor trained how to manage a situation in crisis. Basically, there is a institutional collapse, there is medical collapse, lack of nurses, lack of doctors. So basically, in such a crisis, I think that even investors will escape if there is no sufficient, how can I say, a sufficient attention for investors. The projects of 2021 of the government, I'm not familiar much, but I believe they will still be, what I hear about Macedonia regarding the last period, it is definitely the process of joining the European Union. That are the talks on the table. You won't see, projects about improving hospitals, about getting new machines for hospitals. So definitely on the table, we just hear the rhetorics about joining the European Union.
There's another question, if there's any prospect for future relation with African countries from the Balkans?
Are there prospects? Well, I would love to. I would really be happy if there will be some cooperation between Africa and Macedonia and Africa and the entire Balkan region. We can notice that in Bosnia, basically, there is a plethora of investment and trade investment from the countries such as Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, and regarding African relations, I think definitely it will be really great if some countries of Africa come on a fair in Macedonia and present their culture, and then they invite the people of the Balkan region in other countries as well to join the activities that are present in Africa. I will definitely hope that soon we'll have some collaborations, but unfortunately, I'm not familiar that there are some, unless on the educational plan, I have seen that some group of African students were present in the Ohrid St. Paul University. There were scholarship programs. That's the only collaboration that I have heard about. And perhaps that's more an educational plan. Cultural plan, I don't know yet.
Okay, Hristina, thank you very much for the
You're welcome.
participation. So we can start wrapping up because the battery say that's going low and we don't want to disconnect. But tell us about your new project. You also have a project for interviewing, but through YouTube platform. Please invite our guests. So, and if they're interested, how they can contact you, all your contact information.
Absolutely. There were just two questions that I would like to comment on just very briefly. Remte said, "Empty rhetoric is the bane of everyone's existence." Well, to some extent, yes, and to some extent, no. There are also politicians that are really devoted to their work, especially ministries, but not all government members. And someone asked me, does your family speak Turkish? Well, I am the only one speaking Turkish of my family. Basically, I'm a student in Turkey, so I learned Turkish in Turkey, and my family speaks Macedonian and French. Greetings from Romania, and yes, that are the questions that I wanted to give an answer about. So yes, I have started a project of mine about interviewing people from in the entire world who can share more about their country, career, and job opportunities in their countries. For instance, I have noticed that plenty of people during the era of COVID-19 lost their jobs. So my program is entitled Let's Talk Show Webinars with Hristina Crenn. And basically, I am trying to have a talk with these people from the entire world, as it was the case with Nataly, to promote their career and work, and to basically to have new connections on LinkedIn, to emerge with a new base of connections where people will be able to exchange ideas and perhaps get new job opportunities. So the project of the Let's Talk Show webinars is to invite people like you to come and speak about their career, to come and to promote their career. For instance, Nataly was promoting her career as an investment counselor or international attorney, while this week,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow we are having an interview with a lady from Argentina, Sofia Tidona, who is actually an English teacher. So she's speaking tomorrow. She's going to speak actually about the English teaching jobs and in Argentina. So for instance, the Let's Talk Show webinars are to give voice to ordinary people like us that are sometimes struggling in life for finding a job opportunity, and perhaps by sharing their life story or their dream, perhaps they will soon hear about a new job opportunity, and that will open a new door for them. So basically, the motto of the Let's Talk Show webinars with Hristina Crenn, it is dare to dream and keep believing in yourself when no one else does. That is basically to support and to motivate people like you, hardworking people like you, to never lose hope and to work hard for finding job opportunities. So we are basically sharing our stories.
Great, that's an interesting project. So they can find you through your Instagram, right, Hristina Crenn, and also YouTube, the YouTube channel.
Absolutely, you can find me on Instagram as Hristina Crenn Production, on my YouTube channel as a Hristina Crenn Production, in LinkedIn Hristina Crenn, my Facebook page Hristina Crenn, and Twitter Crenn Hristina. So I'm basically all available there. Do not hesitate to contact me for anything what you need, or eventually if you cannot find my contact, you can contact Nataly and she is going to inform you.
Okay, great. And also for our Spanish-speaking colleagues and friends, can you give us a few words regarding the benefits of the Balkan region regarding trade?
Basically, you mean about the languages, right?
Like if you can send a quick, brief message in Spanish, so people who don't speak English can know a little bit
Definitely.
about trade. Yes.
All right, I will try so. Hola a todos.
Please.
Hola a todos. Me gustaría invitarles a todos ustedes que visitan a mi página de YouTube y la página de Nataly en su Instagram, donde pueden descubrir un nuevo contenido para el mundo del trabajo, los idiomas, todo eso que hoy en el era de COVID-19 no es posible hacer. Por ejemplo, mucha gente perdió su trabajo Y por eso yo empecé en un nuevo proyecto que se llama como Hablar con Hristina Crenn, es mi nombre, para que ustedes puedan venir y hablar sobre su carrera, promocionar su carrera y puede ser que después que vamos a publicar ese talk o webinar en mi página de YouTube, en sus páginas también, y todas las plataformas digitales, puede ser que una nueva puerta de esperanza de buscar un trabajo se abrirá. Eso es mi mensaje. Hablo muchos idiomas todo el día y a veces olvido mis palabras. Es muy difícil. En francés puedo decir Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Hristina Crenn, je viens de la Macédoine et puis je suis étudiante à Istanbul et à Paris, en France. Alors, j'aimerais vous inviter à tous à participer à, à mon show Let's Talk Show avec Hristina Crenn, où vous pouvez en fait partager une partie de votre histoire et promouvoir votre carrière. Et peut-être après la publication de cette vidéo webinaire sur ma chaîne YouTube ou sur les réseaux sociaux, peut-être que un jour vous allez trouver une nouvelle opportunité pour votre carrière. Voilà, je vous remercie.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you for joining us today to our first World Trade Talks. And if you're interested in chatting with me or with Christina, send us a message to plan a talk and learn more about your region or your country and the business and trade opportunities. And happy Thanksgiving for the ones celebrating today in the United States or around the world. And good night. İyi geceler for you in Istanbul. And
İyi
for all
geceler
those
herkese. Çok teşekkürler. Natalie Türkçeyi öğreniyor. Kolay gelsin herkese. Natalie is learning Turkish. She's very good. Evet, so I would like to send a message as a last message for the Turkish participants. Çok teşekkür ederim herkese dinlemek için bu konuşma. Ve benim Türkçem çok zayıf. Yani turistik Türkçesi ama yani konuşuyorum. Öyle. Çok teşekkürler. Natalie Türkçeyi öğreniyor ve bunun için sizden birisi Türkçe yardım istiyor. Natalie ile öğrenmek istiyor Türkçe için. Çok iyi.
Çok teşekkürler. İyi geceler. Görüşürüz.
İyi geceler. Görüşürüz. Luego a todos.
Saludos.
Gracias, gracias.
Hasta la vista.
Muchas gracias, Natalie. Cuídate.
Gracias. Bye.
Abrazos.